I recently opened up a huge box of custom Marvel movie collection figurines from Luis Cantos. Let's review one of my most anticipated characters of all time. Hello everyone, MMC Fan here with a new custom Marvel movie collection figurine review. Luis has very kindly sent me 6 more of his figures to take a look at as part of the current shipping run, and I had to dive straight in with Whiplash, Ivan Vanko from Iron Man 2. Not the final battle version that Eaglemoss gave us, but the iconic Monaco look that we all really wanted, and it's right here in front of me. You know the deal with these by now. Luis takes commissions for custom figures through his Instagram business page and specialises in characters either from the Infinity Saga that Eaglemoss skipped over or from the new Phase 4 projects. These are all 3D printed in metallic resin and then painted by hand, and they are honestly always stunning. He does really good work. The link is in the description. Be sure to give his new page a follow for all the latest releases and to place orders. So this time round we have Whiplash, which, believe it or not, is Luis's 37th custom that he has made available for purchase. It was released in September of this year. It's in 1/16 scale, just like all the others. 13.1 centimeters tall, it weighs 77 grams, and this one costs £90. Now obviously that's a premium price for a premium product, so I always say this one's a little bit more than the other ones at this size because of the level of sculpt work, paint work and 3D printing that has gone into this. It's more than he would usually do, so he has added on. It's usually 70, this one has gone up to 90, and the availability is super rare, and I mean that because it is sold out on Luis's Instagram business page and no one else is making this product, and he doesn't want to make any more. And when you see the figure in detail, you'll see why. Like, this one must have taken so much of his time. Okay, so this figure to me is a complete home run. In my opinion, this is one of the best things that Luis has made, and I think you can see that he has taken the skills that he already had, plus everything he's learnt from making like 50 different models at this point, and he's put it all into this one piece. This one honestly features the most intricate 3D printing work that I've seen from Luis. Like, my brain physically doesn't understand how those whips have been 3D printed in resin and constructed in the way that they have, and the same goes for all the intricate metal details all over the body. Like, I genuinely don't know how he's achieved it, and I would be really interested to see footage of this thing being printed. Not that he wants to print any more, of course, but it's also the paintwork that really impresses. Like, all those individual tattoos have been added by hand, as well as there's like dust effects, there's burn effects on his overalls. He really could not have added any more into this. Like, it's no wonder he was keen to make this run as limited as it was. So let's talk pose. Absolutely perfect, and a no-brainer to use the moment Whiplash walks really slowly towards Tony in the film, you know, to give him time to suit up into the Mark V. It fits in perfectly with the Eaglemoss style of using a dynamic pose but not being too outlandish with it. So his whips are brandished and he is walking, but he still fits the brief of a static figurine. The sculpt work is impressive all over, but some highlights for me include that arc reactor dome on the chest. Like, it's actually really thin and tiny, and it's a perfect circle as well, which is really good. All the metal work on the back is phenomenal. Even for the back of a figure, it is phenomenal. It's brilliant. The flaps of his overalls, and of course the whips themselves, like, these are all highlights to me that all come together to make a really impressive piece. The likeness is spot on for a 1/16 figure, obviously not as close as say a Hot Toys one at 1/6 scale, but the likeness to Mickey Rourke Luis has achieved here. I would say this is kind of Eaglemoss on their best possible day, so it looks like an Eaglemoss prototype would look, you know, the ones they send for photography into the press, rather than the ones they actually send out from the factory. Nice straight eyes, good facial hair, and accurate painting of all of the hair with the highlights. It's really strong. And the paintwork quality continues all over. As I say, each tattoo is individually hand painted, but also the metalwork all over his arms. It's so incredibly thin, and yet there is zero paint bleed anywhere. Like, I've never seen a bit of paint where it shouldn't be on a Luis figurine. It's really good. And he never takes a half-assed approach to painting the back of his figures, as I've said. Even though he knows they're going to be displayed from the front, the back looks just as good as the front does, and I always really appreciate that. The only element that perhaps isn't the same as Eagle Moss is the Iron Man logo on the base. It is exactly the same image, like he's done a really good job of recreating that, but on Luis's ones it's more of an etching rather than a deep moulded design. That doesn't really bother me. If anything, actually makes it easier to dust, because those Eagle Moss Iron Man ones, the dust just gathers in all the little different segments of the arc reactor and you can never get it out. So I'm not bothered, but that might be something to consider if he was making you an Iron Man movie figure. Here he is alongside the Mark V, which is also from Luis, and the official Eagle Moss Tony Stark in the racing suit, and they look phenomenal together. Iron Man 2 may not be the best movie in the MCU, but visually this scene is one of my favourites. It's great to be able to display it within my collection. And here he is alongside two other figurines from Luis. As you can see, he's a tiny bit taller than Spidey and a little shorter than Flying Rescue, making for a really consistent scale. So the takeaway, as you've probably gathered by this point in the video, is 5 stars across the board, which I often give Luis, but I really mean it. I genuinely think this one is an example of his absolute best work, so there's no chance I'd knock off any of these stars. Even the value for money at £90, I'd argue it's better than some of his other customers in his lineup for value for money, to be fair. It's a lot to pay for a small figurine, but the time he has taken on it shows here more than ever. Plus the rarity makes it much more worth your while, with only a handful worldwide. I feel incredibly lucky right now. So you can probably guess that this one tops my ranking of Luis's figures, even though Vulture is a hugely impressive piece, like with the wingspan and all the detail and the paintwork on that and everything. It's really good. This one has to be my new favourite. It's a figure that I've wanted for so long. It's a character that I can't believe Eagle Moss didn't do properly, and must have come down to licensing. And I've always wanted this in my collection, and now thanks to Luis, here it is, and it's come out brilliantly. Like, I am really impressed. As always, thank you for watching. You can follow all the latest news on my Instagram page, which is where all of these reviews and everything appear first. You can also check me out on Facebook, Marvel Movie Collection Fans, and don't forget to subscribe right here on YouTube. I am getting very close to 1,000 subscribers now as a result of my No Way Home video, and once I get to 1,000, I can start monetizing these videos and make a small fraction of money back for all the time I'm spending on them. So if you appreciate what I do, please hit subscribe. If you have a secondary account, please subscribe with that one as well. And just get me over the line and I can start making a bit of money back. But yeah, thanks very much for watching. I'll be back with another custom review very soon. Excelsior. Keep on collecting.